káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yín ètò wa ètò àkọ́kọ́ ìtàn pẹ̀lú Sisi Ṣadé. Orúkọ mi ò yí padà, Afọláṣadé Alim ni mò ń jẹ́. Àwọn kan sì ti wá ní kí n fàmọ̀ pé sí báyìí tẹ́ ẹ bá wá rí mi lọ́nà tẹ́ fẹ́ pè mí, ẹ pè mí ní Sisi Ṣadé Àmọ̀pé torí èmi náà ti ṣe kí ni mo ti láìkí rẹ̀. Ẹ mọ̀ béèrè pé kí wá lóde tó ró dẹ́dẹ́ tó kàn dúdú báyìí. Nǹkan tá a fẹ́ kọ́ lórí ètò lẹ́nìí ó gba kí n ró dẹ́dẹ́ kí n kàn dúdú. Èní gan-an wọ́n ń pè ní alẹ́ àríyá lórí ètò. Ẹ wá nǹkan fìdílé ká máa bẹ́tò lọ. To my folks who do not understand Yoruba, I say a very big welcome to you to another amazing, entertaining edition of Historic Moments with Sisi Ṣadé. My name is Afọláṣadé Alim. Today we'll be learning history in another dynamic way, in a more entertaining way, and that is the history of some popular musicians, whether alive or less. And I had prepared my papers already, and which the paper I pick first, and whosoever's name is in will be the person I'll be talking about first. So I'm picking one already, and whose name is this? Wow. I wouldn't tell you the name first. Let me play the person's song, then be guessing who it is while you listen to the music. Ṣàkàrà olóòjé ni. Yes, you guessed it right. That is Fela Anikulapo Kuti, popularly called Abami Ẹ̀dá or simply Fela, but I personally love to call him the head of state of the Kalakuta Republic. Yes, the head of state of the Kalakuta Republic. He was born Olufela Oladotun Olusegun Ransom Kuti on the 15th of October 1938 into the family of Mr. and Mrs. Ransom Kuti. The father, Reverend Oladotun Ransom Kuti, an Anglican minister and a school principal, he was said to be the first president of Nigeria's Teachers Union. The mother, Chief Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, was a feminist activist who was well known for her fearless attitude. In fact, let's talk about the mother a bit. Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, when the Europeans extended to the women that they should start paying tax, including their products, goods, food, everything that the women should start paying tax. Fumilayo Ransom Kuti led this Abeokuta Women Union to protest that they were not going to pay this tax. And during the process, there's something we call Oro in the Yoruba land. And Oro, women are not meant to see Oro. Any woman who sees Oro, we have to face the consequences. And why protesting Oro came out. And you know what Fumilayo Ransom Kuti did? She grabbed the Oro stick, which was well known to be a symbolic artifact of the Ogoni court. And she began to wave it, saying, "We women are powerful. We are your wives. We are your parents. We are your mother." This made her to be very known in the society. Well, today is not for Fumilayo Ransom Kuti. Let's go back to Fela Anikulapo's story. Fela Anikulapo had both his primary and secondary school education in Abeokuta Grammar School, and at an earlier age, he took a piano lesson. But in 1958, he was sent to London to study medicine. But instead, the Abami Ẹ̀dá studied music at the Trinity College of Music. His preferred instrument was trumpet, and while in London, he formed a band which he called the Kaola Lobitos, playing a fusion of jazz and highlife. In 1960, he got married to his first wife, Remi Taylor, who bore him 3 children, Femi Kuti, Yeni Kuti, and Shola Kuti. In 1963, he moved back to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where he trained as a radio producer for the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, and he also reformed his band, the Kaola Lobitos. But in 1967, he moved to Ghana, saying that he wanted to reflect on a new musical direction. Isn't that amazing? Changing your location to go and reflect on another musical direction. That was the first time he called his genre of music Afrobeat, a combination of highlife, salsa, jazz, and a Nigerian traditional music. In the 70s, time is banned into Africa 70. By this time, the lyrics of his music had changed to social issues, singing about things that were affecting our immediate society. Also in the 70s, he established the Kalakuta Republic, a commune, a recording studio, and a home to a lot of people that were connected to his band. He did one amazing thing, that he got to a stage that he had to declare Kalakuta Republic independent from Nigeria because of the corrupt way of our leaders then. Also in the 70s, he did what? He established a nightclub which he called Afro Sport at first, but later on he changed it to Africa Shrine. He does two major things in the shrine then, and that was what? He performed, that is, he entertained people, and two, he officiates traditional ceremonies. By this time, it was already groomed in the traditional ceremonies or traditional religion. He also changed his name, that is, he also changed his name from Ransom to Anikulapo, that is, he who has death in his pouch. Isn't that beautiful? A woman being saying he has death in his pouch, and according to him, he said he will be the one to invite death to come and take his life when he's ready, and not death coming at the time it's willing. Fela Anikulapo was really popular among Nigerians and Africa generally. But as popular as it was among Nigerians and Africa, it was very unpopular among the ruling government this time, because each time he releases new song, it infuriates them. Camel's Back was when he released Zombie, directing it to the Nigerian army that were more or less like zombie. Whatever you ask zombie to do, zombie will do. Zombie, go and kill your mother, zombie will do that. Zombie, go and do this, zombie will do that without thinking. And the Nigerian army responded to this by attacking the Kalakuta Republic. Fela was severely beaten, and his elderly mother was thrown from the stair, where she spent 8 weeks in coma, in which she eventually died. Fela's tape, recording instrument, and the Kalakuta Republic was destroyed. It was burnt. Fela responded to this attack in 2 ways too. The first was that he delivered the coffin of his mother to the Dodan Barrack in Lagos. He released 2 songs, Coffin for the Head of State and Unknown Soldier, because the ruling government as at this time were saying soldiers that attacked the Kalakuta Republic are unknown. We don't know them. And exactly a year after this incident, Fela Anikulapo did what? He got married to 27 women, most of whom were his dancers, singers, backstage crew, and all. In 1979, Fela established a political party which he called MOP, in full, Movement of the People. According to him, he wanted to mop the society clean. It was during this period that he lost most of his band members to the rumor that he was using their revenue to finance his political agenda. Despite all this, he did not relent. In fact, in the 1979 presidential election, he presented himself as a presidential candidate, even though his candidature was rejected. In the 80s, he made series of successful trips in and out of Nigeria, and the rate at which his political activities were going, he slowed it down. It has reduced finally. And in the 90s, the rate at which he was releasing album had slowed down, and altogether he stopped releasing album. Although it was rumored that he had some ailments he was battling with, but he had refused to treat them. And on the 3rd of August, his brother Olukoye Ransom Kuti, who was a proud activist of HIV/AIDS, announced the death of his brother Fela Anikulapo, that he died the previous day on the 2nd of August 1997 to some complications related to HIV/AIDS. Although there is no proof that Fela Anikulapo died of HIV/AIDS. On his burial, about 1 million people attended, and ever since then, the shrine has been functioning, although in another location, and being handled by his son, Femi Kuti. We have the celebration, a feast, an annual feast in remembrance of Fela Anikulapo. It was officiated by his daughter Yeni Anikulapo, and since then, it's still going on. Since 1998, it's still going on to the present. We have the Kalakuta Museum too, that was opened in 2012, and in some tertiary institutions during costume day, you still students dressing like the Kalakuta princess, like Fela Anikulapo and all. But the question that arises is this: do you really think Fela Anikulapo established a political party because he really wanted to clean the Nigerian society, or it was for his own selfish interest of being in power? Let's talk about this in the comment section, and do not forget to thumbs up to like my video, and do not forget to subscribe too. And I would have loved to continue with some other artists too, but the time is not really on my side. I'll see you in another edition. Bye.